Hey everybody, welcome back to a THW NHL News and Rumors Report. My name is Jim Parsons. I'm here with the HockeyWriters.com. It is January 25th today. We are not that far away from the NHL trade deadline. We're very close to the NHL All-Star break. Lots of trade talk going on here with a handful of teams. We're going to cover that right now. Let's start with the big news of the week, though, with the Vancouver Canucks. Bruce Boudreau is out. Rick Tocchet is in. There were some changes with the assistant coaches as well. But the real news here is that Tocchet is in. He won his first game behind the bench for the Vancouver Canucks, and we'll see how everybody responds to this. Still lots of talk surrounding the Canucks and Bo Horvat, them wanting to maybe go back and take one more shot at trying to sign him, but thinking that they probably aren't going to be able to do that. And then, of course, there's also talk that Andrei Kuzmenko is pretty close with the Vancouver Canucks to signing an extension. Kevin Weeks is reporting that a 2-year bridge deal, somewhere between $5 and $6 million per season, is probably what the two sides are looking at. There's been some talk about whether or not Kuzmenko would be better suited as a trade piece, but Tocchet and others have said, look, well, Tocchet didn't say this, but others have said this about Tocchet. He probably wouldn't have joined the Vancouver Canucks if they were going to trade everybody. So if Horvat's going, Kuzmenko's going, other names are on their way out, why would Tocchet want to be there? Obviously, the money is one thing, getting a coaching job is another, but you kind of want to have a team that you can build around, and Kuzmenko could be part of that. It is said the Vancouver Canucks want to remain competitive, and anybody that they're looking to add in the Bo Horvat trade is going to be somebody that can help them now. So we'll keep our eyes on Vancouver. I'll also talk about Vladislav Gavrikov out of the Columbus Blue Jackets organization. He is a defenseman that as many as 10 teams are looking into. The Oilers and Toronto Maple Leafs are apparently two teams that are looking at this. Now, here's the catch with him. The ask is pretty high. Columbus wants at least what they got for David Savard when David Savard was traded to Tampa Bay, which is a first and a third. Probably more. They view this player very highly. They wanted to re-sign him, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that. So Gavrikov going to another team is probably likely. The trick is who's going to overpay for this player, because somebody will. There's a pretty well-rounded defenseman here, but is he as good as what the trade value is going to be? That's a really hard one to determine, but we're keeping our eyes on this one. Toronto and Edmonton among the many teams interested here. Finally, some talk about Pierre-Luc Dubois out of Winnipeg. Now, Nick Kypreos said on an episode of Tim and Friends recently that there's really nothing that's going to keep Pierre-Luc Dubois in Winnipeg long term. Now, the Jets are playing fantastic hockey. Dubois is playing very, very well. There were rumors back in the day that he was potentially going to the Montreal Canadiens and probably still wants to go there as a pending UFA in 2024. The trick here is what could keep him in Winnipeg, if anything. Are the Jets looking at a very similar situation to what Calgary was facing with Matthew Tkachuk and probably having to trade him once Dubois says, look, I'm not sticking around. He's got one more contract that he can sign as a pending RFA, but then he's a UFA, and the Jets don't want to lose him for nothing. So could this be a trade that we see here this season? Probably not. Could it be something that we see in the summertime, sometime around the NHL draft? Absolutely. This could be something that Nick Kypreos says is probably inevitable. So we'll see what happens with the Jets. We'll keep our eyes on this team, what they do, if they add, if they're talking about moving Dubois. Kypreos says we'd be hearing a lot more about his name right now if the Jets weren't playing so well. So we'll see. All right, folks, that's going to do it for today. Don't forget, we've got more of these coming up here in the future. Keep your eyes on thehockeywriters.com for everything else, news and rumors related every day. We'll keep you posted as the All-Star break comes around here, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Take care, everybody.